Welcome back to the Armchair Pundits podcast. First game week, and some of us are happy, some of us aren't so happy. But we'll get into that as the show goes on. How you guys doing? Did you enjoy your weekends?
Yeah, I had a good weekend. Glad football's back,
Yeah, weekend was cool, man. And then today happened. So other than that, I'm all right.
And we all know how Lamont's feeling. He started as he means to go on, I guess.
Of course.
Well, you see in there, title win, isn't it? So first 3 points.
Yeah, for today you can call me Monzi for today though, yeah? Monzi.
But if I remember that. But so without any further ado, we will start with the Friday night game that kicked off the weekend. Lamont, over to you. How did you find the game?
It was entertaining, I guess, overall. I'm not gonna lie. There was a lot of nerves struck. Probably, parts of the second half mainly. I was thinking that we was a little bit under the cosh because we didn't take our chances. And I feel like Fulham were, trying to kind of, rise their head up and, take advantage of our lack of chances that we kind of put away. I would say that the changes definitely made a difference. I'd also kind of go as far as to say, when I saw the changes that were being made, I was a little bit apprehensive because I didn't think that they would have such a massive input, but I was proven wrong in the end. Overall, though, I will say that Eric Ten Hag he kind of made the right decision in just fielding the guys that he fielded, going with 2 false nines, and having said Casemiro didn't look too great at the tail end of last season, but going into pre-season, he did look like he trimmed down a lot, and I think he was focusing on his fitness, so he was well suited for this game. He was putting himself about massively from the jump. I like to see Mazraoui, honourable mention. Wow, what a player. I mean, the guy wasn't meant to start as far as I was concerned because, there was no telltale signs in reference to him training in the week or anything like that. And to kind of come out and have a performance like that, very kind of steady, reliable, passing the ball under pressure, going forward with it, very composed. I mean, yeah, all-round performance was really good. Really good. So for me, even though I do think, my boy Kobe got man of the match, I do think Mazraoui, he done very well. Very well. I don't know if any of you boys managed to catch any bits.
I watched it. I said it was a decent opening game to the season. It looked like first half, Bruno missed a good few chances. I think there's at least 2 good chances he missed. And it looked like it was going to be one of those games where you're going to regret it because Fulham started getting into it and they were given as good as they were getting, if I was completely honest. And then I think I said it when he came on. I said, Xerxes going to score, man. I just feel it. He's going to score and it's going to be that whole... It's not going to be as good as Martial when Martial came on and scored in his debut. But he's going to score and it's going to be like, okay, welcome to Manchester kind of thing. Yeah. And to be honest, it was a good goal. He showed, like you said before, when we did our last show, that he said it's at 9.5, and he showed it. He dropped deep, he got the ball, and he played out wide, and he didn't stand and watch, and he didn't run in too early. He almost like he surveyed the option where was the best place for him to make his little run into, and it was a good run and a good instinctive finish. So it looks good, to be honest, going forward for you guys. And obviously there's a lot of work to do, but it's a good start. You want a clean sheet first game up, and you want to win your first game at Old Trafford. So
yeah,
you can't really complain.
I mean, other than Euro, I would say that I'm quite impressed with all the signings, to be fair. I don't think anybody really let themselves down. And even Xerxes, in his post-match, he said that, he has to work on his late runs into the box. And quite rightly so, he got that one perfectly timed. I mean, there was a point, I thought he hit off his shin or it ricocheted off somebody, and definitely didn't. The geezer was very intentful in his touch, putting it into the far post and into the corner. So, yeah, man, he definitely stood up and you could see the relief when he scored, man. In his eyes, you could see how much he wanted it, which is good to see when you get a new signing. But yeah, there was a few 1-to-1s during that game that I could say, you know what, these are going to be the telling signs. Like Traore versus Martinez, I thought, wow, he went past him first early on, and I'm not going to lie to you, Jay.
Yeah,
I was thinking,
I thought it's gonna be nightmare scenarios. If I'm honest, I thought because usually when you beat your defender early like that, it's almost like, oh man.
I got him.
But credit Martinez, he stood up to the test, and I think after the first 15-20 minutes, that was it. He snuffed him out.
Yeah.
But that's normally the case with Adama Traore, man. Like, he looks really, really dangerous in the early parts of the game, and if you give him confidence that he can continuously beat you with whatever, you know, direct play that he tries to do, like it almost, he thrives on that. But because Martinez is quite determined and he's not gonna want anyone to just continuously boy him, he was always gonna, I think, snuff him out eventually. And you know that with Traore, his final ball always lets him down. So I think for Man U, it was one of those matches where you got to think, last season this was a match they lost, so it's already 3 points gained on what they didn't do last season. And the first game of the season at home, you know, you always want to put a good sort of account of yourselves to start off with. I don't think there was anything exceptional like standouts for me, but again, I think the tip for young player, I mean, Kobe Mainoo, you just see how important he is for that team. And I think the fact that Joshua Zirkzee has come and already scored a goal is going to bode well for him and for the team, because you can see that Fernandes is kind of wasted as a false nine. Like, realistically, you need him in that number 10 position because he is making runs as the false nine, but he doesn't have the same players behind to give him the ball where he wants it, or where a false nine or a number 9 would want it. Whereas if Fernandes is in that number 10, then whoever does play number 9, which is going to be Zirkzee or Højlund, then I think, as I said, I think it bodes well for them that Zirkzee's come in and done his thing already with a goal. Fulham, I thought, was like, yeah, so I can say Fulham, I thought, you know, they didn't really, I think they caused problems, but there wasn't anything that Man United, I would say, were too concerned about. And I think, you know, for them, they never really believed that they could get a result. And I think that's partly because I think Man U tried to have a lot more control of the game, whereas I think last season they didn't really do that in a lot of their games. But for now, it's a 3 points, a 1-0 win. I think they'll be happy.
They were definitely more forceful in the second half, though. To be fair, Fulham, they definitely had a talking to at half time and said, you know, you got to get at them. It's still 0-0. We could turn this around. But yeah, rightly said, mate. I got to agree. I think Fulham's should be an easy win. So early on in the season for United, and I did call it. I did say we would win. I'm not gonna lie, but I was like, we better win, because last season we didn't. Well, the last last time we played them, we didn't win. But all the games before that, we kind of dominated. Go on, Beth. Sorry.
No, I was gonna say, yeah, I don't know if you can say that it's a game that you should win. You can say that, but after what happened last season, I think you lost to them home and away. I don't know if you can come into this with saying, yeah, this is a game that. This is us.
So you say they have some boasty confidence?
No, I'm just saying you got to be a bit worried about them kind of games.
Listen, we only lost to them.
Listen,
we only lost 2-1 to them, yeah? And the game before that, we won 1-0.
Bro.
So what, at Fulham?
I mean, no, not at Fulham.
So you're talking about the previous season before that?
Yeah, so when it was
one game each.
Go on, mate.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's one game each, yeah.
Last year
so they beat us at home and we beat them at home.
Okay.
Yeah, but all the games before that, we beat them more or less. So that's why I said it's a game we should win, actually.
All right, cool.
You man are always trying to get Man United.
Nah, man, it's just your cousin, bro. It ain't got nothing to do with the man, them.
No. I think you just got to take it. It's a 1-0 win. United were kind of waiting for in front of goal. At the end, there was a horrific mistake by Bassi. And almost even more horrific miss by Garnacho. Yeah. So it's good with United.
I would have scored that.
I think Traore reminds me. Remember Mighty Ducks? D2, the guy Mendoza. That's who Traore reminds me of.
He just runs fast, can't
fast, but no control.
Got no breaks.
No breaks. You know what I mean? So he's gonna almost run off the pitch. So he's gonna get dealt with really. But you've got to take it. First game of the season, it's 1-0. You miss chances, but I think it's just gonna. I think the difference is if United are gonna have to put the ball in the back of the net more often than not going forward, innit? But you just take this game and then you move on to the next one.
Yeah, we have to though. We have to. Because I think the last conversation me and Jay had, I was saying to him that we were about 20 goals off of the top 4. So, it was important that, we hit the ground running, but we need to be scoring, like taking our chances. And I don't feel like we did that this game. So, yeah, on to the next one and make sure that we could get some more balls in the back of the net.
Okay, on to the next game. So Liverpool got their favourite 12:30 kickoff on Saturday morning, and if I'm completely honest, the first half it showed because we were terrible in the first half, absolutely terrible, and I don't know. When I analysed it, I just kept sitting there saying to myself, "These guys look like they haven't played together for ever before." That's how it seemed at times. But then I said to myself, well, okay, hold up. It's a new manager, and 7 of the starters didn't have a preseason. So this was literally their first, well, their second, the first of the week before, where they were getting used to the new system, the new everything from Slot. And it showed. So I have to give credit to Slot because he made a brave call for the player who I tipped to potentially be Young Player of the Year, Quansah, to get subbed at halftime. Listen, I'll be completely honest, and I'm not the only person that's thought this because I watched Liverpool TV as well. I didn't think he was that bad at halftime.
Bro, he wasn't. He didn't have that bad of a first half, bro.
And I wasn't sitting there thinking this guy needs to come off or so. And Phil Babb was like, at the same time, he's like, to be honest, I don't think he should have been coming off. So I felt vindicated in a way, but at the same time, he came off and we played 100 times better.
Bro, I'm going to be honest with you. I feel like Arne Slot clearly believes that Konate is the better defender.
Yeah, he is though.
But he gave Quansah a chance because he had done so well in pre-season. But because Konate obviously he's had a few injury problems since he's been at Liverpool, I think maybe he was like, you know what, I'm going to reward Quansah with the start. But deep down, he's always felt that Konate is the better defender. And that is the truth. He is a better defender, but he just hasn't, his body has kind of let him down. So I think it's partly that, yes, it obviously worked because second half you were better and had more control. But yeah, I don't think Quansah had some nightmare first half and needed to get dragged off. There was no way.
I think Ipswich had their bog standard chances, Lee.
It's all it's mostly set pieces as well, wasn't it?
Yeah. He lost a couple of duels in that, which probably led to looking like he wasn't as good as he should be for Arne Slot. But I just thought second half we were excellent. I mean, see, when it's a typical game of two halves in that regard, because I give Ipswich credit. The way they pressed us in the first half, they went man to man, and we struggled. We struggled with that against Atalanta, home and away, and then knocked us out of Europa League last season. And we struggled with that with other teams. I think Napoli have done it to us as well before. So I thought, how are we going to fix this? And he gave them video at halftime, we're told, and he told them, listen, yes, I know I want to play short, but if they're not giving you the opportunity to play short, then go long. And
that's what I was going to say, that he basically reverted to what Klopp had the way Klopp played in attacking areas, because some of the passes that you guys were playing was just ridiculous in that second half. And it just felt like you had too much quality for Ipswich in the end, and that's what it boiled down to. I think the reason why Ipswich pressed you is because they already have this preconceived idea that you guys are going to go into games being more patient and being building up from the back a bit more, and not being so direct. Obviously it worked for the first half, but as soon as Slot just said, you know what, you guys know how to play football, man, change it up a little bit. You need variety. That's the way you're going to beat teams anyway. You can't play the same way all the time, even though certain teams do like to do that. You have to change up, and you saw they reap the rewards, because second half you guys were just ridiculous. The amount of chances it could have been more than two.
It should have been 4 or 5. And I didn't mention this on my post match. I completely forgot. But we should have been playing against 10 men. I'm probably happy we didn't, because it might have ruined the game, because it would have gone more defensive. But Burns, Burns was on a yellow card, and he lays on the floor, and he literally scoops the ball with his hand. It was so deliberate, it was ridiculous. So I don't know why he didn't get his second yellow card. Some people may say, "Oh yeah, referee doesn't want to spoil the game," but that was a second yellow. But like I said, it's good that it doesn't, because then that could have made it even worse for us, because they would have just set off, and then it would have been attack versus defense. So
to be fair, he was skating on ice for a while though. Burns.
Yeah.
He was skating on ice. He was doing a lot of things that are on the edge, man. I was like, why would you do that against a team that is superior, realistically? You just need to, he's playing the percentages too much. I was surprised he didn't come off at half time, though, to be honest.
Some people
the thing is, they have 3 guys that were all booked within half an hour. So it wasn't like they could rely on just taking one guy off.
Yeah.
Had got early yellows, so...
What was your view on the game, Devin?
Well, you've pretty much highlighted a lot of it. First half, not too great. Second half, your first goal showed you how easy football can be. Really, was it 4 passes, then it's a goal?
Trent's pass.
Trent's pass splits the defense.
Ridiculous.
Salah's in there, and he just rolls it across, tapping. That's it.
That's the Salah you need, though.
Yeah.
That Salah that is willing to roll the ball when there's an easier chance for someone else.
I said it in my WhatsApp group. I said, am I being harsh on Salah? Or 2-3 years ago, would he have not passed it?
If that was Mane, he's not passing it. Exactly.
Mane's still waiting, bruv. He was
still waiting, bruv.
It's like they had beef or something like that. Like who could score the most goals? But if he's gonna play like that this season, then
he will.
Gonna be...
Listen, I've tipped him. I've tipped him for Player of the Year, because he's gonna have a chip on his shoulder, and he started well, man. Goal and assist.
Yeah.
To be fair, he should have had 2 goals and 2 assists, if I'm being completely honest. But we were wasteful, like we have been many a time. But yeah, I'm happy. End of the day, that's all you can ask for. Clean sheet. You're gone.
So Diaz's chance, was that easier to miss than it was to score?
When he chipped it over.
Yeah.
I think he was in 2 minds whether just to chip it, because he likes to be creative. So I think he was in 2 minds whether to chip it over him and then control it, or whether just to chip it into the net, and then he got it all wrong. I personally thought it was a penalty anyway. People might say he got clattered. Just be honest. After he controlled the ball, he got clattered. Regardless of whether the ball went over the crossbar or not, he got taken out. So for me, that's a penalty. I know a lot of people say you're biased because of Liverpool, but if that was Alisson, if that was Alisson, I'd be like, Alisson, what are you doing? That's what I would have been saying.
Yeah, I think it could have been a penalty. And I think as a striker, if I was in that position, I'd just be trying to get something on the ball, because I'll be expecting if the keeper clatters me, I'm going to get a pen. And that's maybe what the player thought. It's like, no matter what happens here, whether I try to lift it over him, I just got to get contact, because this goalkeeper is going to take me out. Yeah. But the referee was like, nah.
Daz has got too much. He's got too much flair for his own good.
Right. The last point I'll make, I want to ask you guys, because obviously I've heard a lot of stuff Liverpool fans wise. Gravenberch at a 6. How do you guys think it looked? Because it's potential that he could be our 6 going forward if we don't buy one. Obviously, it's a first game and it's against inferior opposition. How did you guys see it as a non-biased Liverpool fan?
He has the attributes to play it. I don't think he did anything amazing in this game. And I don't think, as you said, this is not the game to test. Like, you could have had no 6 today against Ipswich and just had 2 play with 2 sitting or just 2 general box-to-box midfielders, realistically. But I think he has the attributes to play it. The question is, does he have the mental aptitude to do it? Because playing the 6th role is just as much about being able to keep possession and be able to deal with the press as much as, knowing where to be at the right time. You know that you've got to protect the back line, but you've also got to initiate attacks as well with clever passing and be able to take pressure off your defense with good ball possession. But it's whether he has that mental aptitude to do it and the concentration levels to do it. And I think that's where Bayern thought he did, and he didn't, because that's where they tried to play him. Bayern are still, they've only just got João Paulinho, but they have bought Gravenberch thinking that he could play in that role as well. So I think if Slot is willing to give him the time to bed in, and Gravenberch actually wants to play, if he wants to play football, learn to play the six.
Yeah, that's what he's going to play, basically.
Learn to play the six. Because ultimately, if you want to be on the pitch, you have to sometimes adapt to playing a different role. And he's not going to play like in the same role that McAllister and Sloboslai play, because they're better than him. Simple.
I wasn't really overwhelmed with him, to be honest with you, when he was playing. He was kind of, I don't know if it's because he was just doing his work silently. Do you get what I mean?
That's what Six does.
Yeah, this is it. So I'm like, I wasn't really like, wow, okay, cool. He's doing a proper job and whatever else. I was watching him thinking, okay, he's doing the basics, but like Leon said, doing it against Ipswich is what you'd expect. So when the levels start going up, it start cranking up. Where's your focus? Where's your concentration? Do you know what I mean? Are you able to adapt to the game? And when you got someone like Trent playing the invert, is he going to make you a bit claustrophobic? Do you need to move over to give my man space to find his range? And do you know when to cover him? Because, and all those kind of nuances to the game. So I wouldn't say he didn't do himself any favours in that game against Ipswich, but he also didn't stand out as a, overall kind of like, he cemented his place as a six.
The problem is now with a six, like there's such a high bar, like the quality levels that you're seeing of what we have seen in recent years of a six. Like we've gone from the Makalele role to then Busquets and Rodri now. That's the levels that you're looking at the six of. You're thinking, who's going to be able to play that role? And realistically, he's not going to be able to get to that sort of level, in my opinion, at that, because it's not a natural position for him. But because Liverpool have not resolved the problem of being able to buy someone that can go in there, right now, he could be the best player to fit the bill, because McAllister is wasted playing as a six.
Yeah, agreed.
When we know how good he is going forward.
He's still only 22 though, so it's still, if they persist with it, it's still an option. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Go on.
No, I was going to say, as you said, it's kind of too early in the season to tell. He's done it right against inferior opposition, but you never know when sterner tests come up, and then you'd want to see that before the end of the window, really.
Yeah,
but then
we're not going to.
Yeah. So as you said at the beginning, Slot wants to see the team before he buys anyone. He likes what he sees, so that's what you're going to roll with. Like I said, it's too early to tell. You'd have to wait and see, and midway through the season, then it might be something that you look at in January. But right now, I don't know.
Unfortunately, we're all hoping we'll get a six before that. But moving on to you guys. So Arsenal, with was it an easy 2-0 victory, or was there some trepidation in there?
There was a bit of trepidation in there. I think we made it harder for ourselves. They said that before pre-season, Arteta brought pickpockets to the TV to dinner to tell the players to pay attention, and it seems like in the second half they forgot the lessons that he was trying to teach them, because Partey got his pockets picked a few times in that second half, and he was wasteful, man. He wasn't the only one, but if I'm going to rewind, in the first half there were moments where like the press was outstanding. We was causing them problems. They couldn't really get out. We forced Totti Gomez to make several mistakes, several different times, and it would look like it was going to be a matter of time before the goal was going to come. We scored the goal, and then it's like we sat back, and it's still like problems that we've had from last season, the season before, where we sat back, allowed pressure to come, invited pressure on, and then all right, half time comes. Second half, we start to make. I don't know if the players got tired. Things have started to get a bit sloppy, and then they have chances. Raya's got to pull off a good save. They started to grow into the game, and they are, as in they're having chances, and it's like we're losing the battle in midfield, but then he makes changes, brings on Timber, and then things change, and we score from a quick free kick, into Saka, and then puts it into the back of the net, and then after that, we're still going to win. So even though there were moments where it looked like Wolves were applying pressure, but we seem to weather the storm and just be comfortable and sit back and defend. But I think if we're going to win the league, we can't. It's not something you can play like that and expect to. You can't. Better teams will kill you if you give them chances, or you lose the ball just outside your 18-yard box. Really.
Oh yeah, the Cunha one. Yeah, he should have buried that.
Yeah. Even a chance that when we lost it, I think Havertz lost it, and then Hwang's whipped the ball in, and the header. I mean, it was a great save, but having analyse get onto the end of that, you're thinking that's 1-1, and then you're kind of struggling. I mean, but then as I said, 0-0 at home. I mean, 0-0, a clean sheet at home. 2-0 first game of the season against a battling Wolves side. You got to be happy with that with that result, really. Yeah, I will say that if we play like that with the press and stuff like that, there are some teams that we're just going to absolutely just murder this season. We're gonna bury some teams. There's going to be some high scoring games, I think.
Yeah, I thought you guys played well. To be honest, you did have some complacency, as you said, but again, first game of the season. I think all of the teams really have shown some level of complacency first game of the season because they're not quite ready yet. So Saka was a good performance from Saka. To be honest, goal and assist. Thank you in my fantasy team.
He looked fresh as well.
Yeah, he did.
He looked fresh,
and he got subbed off, which is important because he often doesn't get subbed off for you guys, does he? So he actually got some rest. So not that I like it, but it bodes well going forward. But yeah, Wolves. I don't know. Gary O'Neill. It's not one of the games he's going to sit there and think we could have. It's gonna hinder us going on in the season. It's one of those games where you try to play as well as you can, and you see what you get. Because I think you guys dealt with them twice last season as well.
Yeah, we did. Oh, we ain't lost to Wolves at the Emirates. They said, or at home since like the 70s. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I don't think there's not been too many draws. Or once, the last time we lost at home to them in the league was behind closed doors. But since then, it was like the 70s. So it's not like them beating us at the Emirates isn't a regular occurrence really, or at home, should I say?
Okay.
I think obviously Bevan is looking at it from the point of view that it's a game that they were well in control of and they had the potential of letting it slip. But realistically, early in the season is when those type of things happen. And Arsenal spent most of last season destroying everyone that came to the Emirates. Like literally anyone that was not. I mean, they've beat pretty much all the big teams as well. But the teams who they would expect to beat, they destroyed them. And I think they're just a little bit of hangover or probably a little bit of complacency, but it's early and it's good that they had the warning signs. But ultimately they've gone into the game. They've got 3 points. They've got a clean sheet. I think they'll be happy with that, and it bodes well for them that they seem to be able to create chances at will against whoever they come up against, and I think that's something which for Arsenal will be key to continuing on for the rest of the season.
Okay, moving on to the Super Sunday big game. Chelsea versus Man City. Man City, technically they cruised to victory, 2-0. Haaland scoring early, and I don't know. At that point, you thought to yourself, "Is he just going to get a hatful today?" But credit to Chelsea. To be fair, I didn't think they played that badly, if I'm completely honest. But you can see that they're not ready yet. and with the 43 players that they've got to choose from, it's no surprise. So I don't know. It's hard to judge Man City as well because Pep has taken his normal stance of telling the players to come back when they're ready. So we weren't seeing a fully flowing Man City play. But one thing I will say about Savinho, I don't know if it's because he had the number 26, but when I was watching him running down the wing,
It's like Mahrez
I
was
was
there.
like, is this Mahrez? Where
It
he was
looked exactly the same, bro.
Bruh,
I
it's
thought
so
at first
mad.
there were some highlights I saw today, and I thought that it was another season when they had Mahrez at first.
Mhm.
I was like, this Savinho kid is just looking like he just been here for 5 years.
Yeah.
Crazy.
He's
He
playing
looks
with
so
a
promising.
confidence. Yeah, he's playing with a confidence. I would say that it was a good tactical switch though, because they had Doku on that side, and he was getting no change. So
Mm.
they had to look at it and say, you know what? Yeah, he needs to swap sides. As soon as he did that, yeah, the game changed straight away. You could see it. There was more kind of direction. There was more confidence in just going forward, and the negative football kind of stopped straight away from City. In fairness, so yeah, that Savinho is a buy, mate. Definitely don't know how he does it, mate, but he's found another one. He's found another
Well,
gem, bruv.
what happened to him? Because he got brought off at half time, but I don't know
His
what
knee.
happened.
So when I was
Yeah.
watching, he didn't even get clattered. Like
No.
he did a jink and then he laid the ball off, and then when De Bruyne got clattered at the edge of the box, he went down as well. And then it was
Right.
it was looking at I looked at the outside of his right knee, and then from then I was like, oh man,
Yeah, you
for
can see
him, you can see, you can see,
you can see the dismay. You can see the
Yeah,
dismay.
you know, especially if it's a non-contact injury as well, you're like, oh, those are the worst ones normally.
Yeah, 100%.
So for his sake and the sake of the Premier League, I hope it's not a long one because
Yeah,
it looks like it's going to be an exciting player to watch this season.
I'll tell you who's not going to be exciting to watch this season. Jackson up front. Bruh. Listen, when I tell you, I felt like I was watching You Been Framed. Me and my son was laughing our heads off, mate. He could not hit a barn door. I don't know what they're thinking, but they're going to struggle if they continue to have him as the number 9. I mean, I'm not complaining because it just means there's one more place that,
Me too.
there's one more place that you don't have to battle for. But honestly, when you're watching certain names on the screen, you're thinking, oh, this should be a decent game. And you just see the horrendous misses and all that kind of stuff. You just think, oh, what are they doing, man? And then you got guys on the bench that struggle to start. It's embarrassing. It is embarrassing a little bit, to be honest.
But he looks like he could be something, though. Sometimes he looks like he could do.
Why does
he's got
everyone
all that
keep on saying this to me?
No,
brother, seriously.
Bevan's onto something. Go on, Bevan. Go
Bro,
on.
like there's a reason why when people talk about him, they give him a chance because of Jopa's first season.
Mhm.
And it looks like there's a player in there that he could hold the ball up well certain times. Bro, he caused you lot problems last season, United. So
Fair.
like
He's a problem. He's
yeah.
actually a problem striker. The only thing he doesn't have is the finishing part. But if he sorts that out and his decision making, he's going to be. He scored 14 goals, and I know 3 of them was against us, so don't really count
No
the
penalties.
14. But exactly, 14 goals is still 14 goals in your first season in the Prem, and Chelsea were abysmal for the first half of that season. It's only second half of the season where they really started putting a run together and ended up in 6th. But I think you're right. I think he's a problem, and he's young, so there's a lot of rawness there. But I don't know, man. I can't imagine that you're gonna be training every day and you can't improve your finishing.
He's a chaos baller. At some point, it's just gonna look like a mess, and the next thing you know, you're gonna be like, "Oh, he scored 2 today," and then next week he's gonna go back to missing open chances and doing everything but scoring goals. He's just an unknown quantity. I think Chelsea. That's why they stick with him. I bet in training, he's a bagsman.
I bet, yeah, but he's probably not. But the problem is Chelsea don't have any other option. So right now he has to play. So that's the other thing. He needs to take this chance right now because let's be honest, Nicholas Jackson is a third choice striker.
Yes.
Realistically,
Yeah, facts.
he's not
Yeah.
first or second. He's
Facts.
third.
Yeah.
But right now, he for his own sake, he needs to take this opportunity because when they do decide to sign the bagsman they want, he's not going to play much unless that player gets injured.
Yeah, facts. I mean,
You're gone.
no, I was going to say, sorry, Jay. I was going to say, looking at how Chelsea played, I mean, the only person that I could look at and say to myself, do you know what? He done a stellar job was Lavia. I was
Yes, I was gonna
very,
say.
very impressed. Like, his
But everyone
decision
was
making.
upset that Chelsea bought him.
Mate,
Everyone.
everybody.
No one more than me, bro.
Yeah,
'Cause
true.
We gave him to them. We didn't buy him. We gave him to them.
And he would have stood you. He would have stood in a very good position for you guys. Because look what you're doing now. You're trying
You'll
to
need that 6, right?
You need the 6, and he would have fit that mode perfectly, mate. His composure under pressure, the geezer's press resistant is up there, like elite level. And for a man that's just kind of coming into a very big name, squad, and he's surrounded by loads of talent, you'd think that he might get a little bit lost coming from Southampton, right? You think, okay, but he just stepped in like he's been there for seasons.
Don't forget, he's a Chelsea
Normal.
youngster. It was Chelsea. Oh, sorry, Man
True.
City. Sorry, it was Man City. Man City to Southampton.
Okay,
I don't think
all right.
there's no pressure on him really. Who's going to play in his position in that team?
No, but my point
Caicedo.
is against Man City. Yeah, but
But
against
he
Man City.
played with him. They played together.
Yeah, but so that's where it's weird because I think we're saying this off camera. Having those 3 for someone like Klopp is a dream to play those 3. But when you've got Cole Palmer, who doesn't really want to be out wide, when you've got Nkunku, who wants to play in behind, and you now, if we believe it, they're gonna get what's his name, Portugueser, João Felix. They're gonna get João Felix.
Portuguese is crazy.
Love that.
João Felix. Then they probably have to play with only 2 of the 3, but then they've got to make Fernandes captain. So now the Fernandes is captain or vice captain behind Reece James. Then you can probably only play one of the 2 because realistically you need your wide guys. Noni Madueke wide right, and then the other Portugueser, what's his face? They signed last week. Neto playing left wing.
And he nearly scored after a couple of minutes being on the pitch, to be fair.
Maybe that midfield that they played was an experiment, but I don't think we're Enzo.
He's not a number 10.
He's not 10.
Not a 10, boy.
Yeah.
He's never been that.
He was doing that they were doing that last season. It didn't work. I don't know what Maresca saw and thought, maybe I can get the best out of him in this position, but it's not going to work.
He's an 8 at best.
It's a big if, but if they can get it right, if they can get the players playing in the right positions and get that back line solid, then they can definitely be a problem. But it's a big if.
Well, let's hope he doesn't figure it out.
I really hope he doesn't.
45 players, and he got to figure out how to keep all them men happy.
Well, probably 44 with Raheem Sterling's comments, but anyway.
Well, there's 3 men that's not even training with the squad as well. Remember?
Yeah. Mate, listen. Big respect. Big respect for Conor Gallagher, though. He's getting some disrespect over there. Yeah, I mean, flying him out to Spain to fly him back. I mean, really? Oh, mate. I don't even know if I'd go back to the stadium. I'll just kick back at home. What's the point?
But he loves things. He loves the club. So if they brought him back, he would want to be playing first team. Like put me right back, Keffa. He's one of them.
Yeah.
Put me anywhere. Okay. I'll play. So
fair enough. Fairs. He's not getting basically. He's not getting in over Lavia though. Just letting you know.
But he's gone. He's gone anyway.
He's gone. He's
definitely gone. He's gone back to Spain. But I'm happy for him. I think he can learn a lot over there.
I think going to Atletico will make him a better player for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
So we move on to the last game. Over to you, Leon.
Let's not. Over to you, James.
Man, we don't want to talk about let's the Tottenham. Listen, Tottenham were good first half. Tottenham were good first half.
You know what? I'm gonna stop throwing my toys at the pram minute because end of the day we didn't lose, but it's just typical Tottenham, man. We had the control of the game, full control of the game, and the same thing again. We don't know how to deal with counterattacks, and we don't know how to defend crosses. Like for Vardy to be that free is criminal. He's 36, 37. When Vardy was 29, 28, and he could burn everyone for pace, I can understand. the man is 37. He's clever. Nobody should be letting Vardy out of their sight. And to have us concede a goal like that is just stupid. Anyway, first half, yeah, we were good. I think Porro scored not an unexpected header, a very good one at that, and probably needs to show Richarlison how to do the same kind of flick header, because the chance that Richarlison had at the end was just like, bro, what are you doing? You're at the
Bread
near
and
post.
butter for a striker.
You
Bread and
don't
butter.
need to put anything on it. Just let it kiss your head, bro.
Man had to power it. Man had to power
But
it.
no, I don't know what he was doing. Anyway, he's probably just upset because Solanke's come in and started straight away. But I was happy with Solanke's contribution up top.
Mhm.
Obviously, you wanted him to have a bit more conviction with a couple of chances that he had, and I felt the same way for most of the chances. But a lot of them were straight at the keeper. Bentancur had one. I think Madison had one. I think we just finishing again is the problem. Decision making in the final third, a problem. But football wise, we were fine. Obviously, we had the spell once we conceded the goal. Leicester were on top for a bit, and I didn't feel like we dealt with them well enough. Like, I felt like we allowed them to not even. I don't think we paid them enough respect, because they were making the right decisions in attacking areas, and some of the football they were playing when they were on top for that short spell, I was concerned. But I was surprised that Kulusevski didn't start. He had been playing really well in pre-season, and Madison hadn't really been playing well in pre-season, to be honest with you. Obviously, he got an assist today, but I felt like we were just missing something going forward, and I felt like we would have been better off with having Kulusevski on the pitch from the start rather than bringing him on. And in the end, I think the guys who came on ended up getting about 20 minutes because of the injury to Bentancur for the head injury. Like, for the head injury, I think he was concussed. And yeah, we just didn't really do much after that. And we had the one chance from the free kick for Richarlison, was a corner. I think it's a free kick. And yeah, we just wasted. But it's a points dropped, man. You got to beat you've got to beat the sides that are promoted. When you're a club that wants to get into the top four and win things, we have to win those games. And when we've been in control of it, it's very disappointing. But I've got to take the positives. We got Gray on, and we got Lucas Bergvall on, and they didn't look out of place. I think we've got better options on the bench now. Like last season, when we made subs, I did not believe that those subs were going to do anything for us. Now I have a little bit more confidence in that, and I think we've got a few more ball players in there which can fit the style. But ultimately, we've dropped points, but we haven't lost, so we just got to take it as it is, and it's a point gained rather than no points.
Yeah, I thought Son was really poor second half. I don't know what happened. It's almost like a different Son came out in the second half. Yes, Leicester came out brighter in the second half, and obviously Cooper got into them. But I don't know. I think there's one time where it was just a simple ball out to him, and his touch inside the box was so heavy that his touch took him out of the box towards the corner flag.
But Son doesn't have a great first touch, bro. Real talk. He doesn't have a great first touch. It's not. Tottenham fans know that it's hit and miss sometimes with him. And like you used to say about Mane, there's days where he had an off day touch.
Yeah.
That's Son more often than what you were saying about Mane. We'll talk.
But Solanke, I felt sorry for him, because you can see what's there, and you can see he's going to get you quite a few goals this season because he was always in the right position.
Yeah,
his movement was good. Yeah, his movement was good. His hold-up play was good, and he was always hungry for to score a goal. Essentially, that's what you want. So I don't feel sorry. Richarlison's going to have trouble getting into the team, because he'll probably play Europa. I think you got Europa League, haven't you? So he'll probably end up playing Europa League if Solanke continues. But I think it was a positive performance from Solanke. And I don't know, I'm trying to look at who else.
To be fair, Brendan Johnson, the thing about it is he's got the markings or the makings of a really good player. Like every time I see him play, and I was saying it to someone earlier on, I was saying to the geezer, mate, the geezer has at least 2 chances a game where he could, and for me personally, he should bury. Like, and I feel like he had the same thing today, but in slight twist. I think one, he should have squared it, and I don't know if he fluffed his lines, and the other one, I reckon he should have done a lot better. But I suppose
Bro, you
so
hit it on
early.
the head though with Brennan Johnson. Decision making.
Yeah.
His
But that's the
decision-
same for most of our front line, bro. Real talk.
Yeah.
It's always been decision making. Same thing last season. Them guys have to learn, man. You got to look at your surroundings. You got to have the awareness to know what decision to make in the right situations, and that's what being a top footballer is all about. And if these guys want to make it to the next level and win things, they're gonna have to figure it out.
Yeah, because
Very
when you
quickly.
leave an away ground with 71% possession, 7 shots on target, you don't expect to draw that game 1-1.
No.
Nope.
So
But it goes to show in the Premier League 1-0 is not, sometimes it's not enough, man. You got to put those teams away, otherwise there's always a
When
chance.
you look at it,
There's always
there
chance.
is, and Leicester ended up having a higher XG than us, and that which just shows you that we give away quality
they did it
opportunities
in the end.
to teams.
It depends where you look, because I've got you guys having 1.23, and
Leo,
I've got-
Leicester 102 or 1.02.
I'm seeing 1.15 for Leicester and 0.8. So
That's
it
where these
depends on
things
where
are so
you go,
funny.
which is
Yeah.
mad.
It's so
Yeah,
funny where
it's
you go and
crazy.
find this
Yeah.
stuff, man.
But that's the problem, right? You've got different companies doing the stats and
Yeah.
working out positions and that sort of thing. Sorry, Bevan, what were you going to say?
I was say, who's that young guy that you signed, the Swedish guy? Is he Swedish?
Bergvall.
Good.
Yeah,
He
Bergvall.
looks good.
No,
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's good, but he nearly got his welcome to the Premier League moment
Oh yes.
Oh.
in the
The
second half.
told him about it, boy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't think it
Yeah.
was just his fault though, because indeed he did have a free header as well, so he can't just.
Mhm.
It's not just his fault, but that was a welcome to the Premier League moment
Yeah.
where that's like, yeah, this is
100%.
you ain't got that time that the amount
You ain't
of time
got
that
time
you
to be
Nah.
doing foolishness in there.
Yeah,
That's
can't
one
dilly
problem.
dally, mate.
Exactly,
Yeah.
as one of my friends used to say, no dilly dally.
think. No,
Trust
No,
me.
dilly-dally,
In those
bro.
areas, no. And I understand having confidence, but you've got to know, again, it's decision making, right? It's the same thing
Yeah.
again. Knowing what to do in the right situation. And yeah, it was almost a rude awakening for him. But
But he's young. He won't do it again.
How did
Let's
you
hope
feel
not.
about Jed Spence coming on?
a lot of Tottenham fans had no issue with Jed Spence. When we signed him, we thought he was going to be a good signing, and he's looked good in preseason. It was all about attitude, and it's the same thing that I think Neil Warnock was saying: is the guy could be a waste of time, or he could be one of the best right backs in the world. I don't think best right back in the world is going to happen. I think that's a stretch. But when he's been on loan, when he went to Italy and he got time to just focus and he ain't got no distractions, he was actually really good for them. And they probably would have, if they had the money, they probably would have tried to sign him permanently. But with Tottenham, we don't ever try to sell anyone for less than what Levy thinks they're worth. So, and just giving him a chance, he's shown that he's capable. In preseason, he's looked good. And I think he's more than capable of playing right back. I don't think he should be. I think Andrew was mentioning about him possibly playing left back at times. No, go and sign a left back. He should be cover for Porro, or they should be battling for the top spot for that right back position. You need to have two good players in every single position, and all the top teams do. So
especially when you're in Europe.
Exactly, right. And you see how the levels drop off when one player gets injured and you don't have the right cover. Look at Man United; they got two left backs that are never fit.
Yeah.
And now you're having to force Darlow or Mazraoui or flipping Lindelof there. So we don't want to be in a situation where we lose that. So for me, Jed Spence, yes, I want him to play. I want him to stay and focus. And as long as he doesn't get distracted and be lazy and be late for training, which is some of the reports, like, by all means, do your thing, bro, and try to make a success of your career.
One last thing before we go. Was it just me or Leon? As a Tottenham fan, were you not annoyed with Porro? Like, he went down injured, bruv, and he was just hopping around for like 5 minutes. And you think, he must cost you a goal. Because he was out of position, and they were looking to pass to him like no one was there. And then man ran down the wing, crossed it in, and I was like, just sit down on the pitch. Your teammate will kick it out. You got Jed Spence on the bench. Just get off the pitch. I was like, what is this guy doing?
To be fair, I feel like
I'm not a Tottenham fan.
I feel like he's been their he's been their biggest asset
He's
since
good.
last season. To be
He's
honest,
the thing. He stepped up last year as well, because when the first 6 months, when everyone has that rude awakening to the Prem when they get signed in January, he was terrible defensively, but he made a real big improvement last year. And he, in terms of his duels, he dealt with a lot of duels well. But there's times where, and it's the same with Udogi, because there's so much focus on bombing forward, that when we don't either create a chance or win a corner or win a free kick, when teams are in transition, it is curtains. And if them man don't get back in time, it's problems. And you saw it today. Every time Leicester counter-attacked, we were open in the wide areas. And I don't really know what Ange is doing to solve it, but we've heard the story about us not doing anything tactically defensively, which I cannot believe is still the case. But there's times when I look at us defensively and I think are we being coached in these type of situations? I don't know.
Okay, well, it's going to be interesting as the weekend goes on. Sorry, as the next week goes, because the next game weeks are quite some good ones, if I'm completely honest.
Yeah,
but
very.
It's been a good weekend in general of football. Happy to have the Premier League back. And like I said, I look forward to next week. Once again, thanks, guys. Thanks for your time. Thank you, Lamont. Thank you, Leon. Thank you, Bevan. This has been Armchair Pundits. And as I will say, please don't forget to check our X accounts, which is at Armchair Pundits, our Instagram accounts, which is at Armchair Pundits Podcast, and our TikTok, which is at armchair.pundits, where you'll find our shorts and any other videos that we try to put up. And once again, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Take it easy. Peace.
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 Later.